3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Dave, and we're back for another podcast today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about walking into a public hospital here in Effingham, Illinois. Catch you guys. So, welcome back. So just came out of St. Anthony's Hospital here in Effingham, and probably one of the smoothest operations I've been through in a while. I'm used to coming into hospitals where it's just a madhouse and there's a ton of people. There was just nobody when I walked in. And only thing I was displeased with, honestly, was the fact that they didn't have any face masks. Nowadays, when I go into a hospital, which it's been a while, but even I think the last time I went, maybe a year or so ago, I still would see face masks when you walk in, available to the public. They did not have any, and when I requested one, I was denied. Weird, right? They said that actually they were in a different department or something, and that they had to be given to them, and she made it sound like this, difficult process. So I didn't push the issue too much, but a little disappointed in St. Anthony's that they didn't offer a face mask, especially with what's going on here currently. I asked them a couple questions for the sake of talking to you guys, so that way I can keep you all informed as well. But they said that there's still no known cases here in Effingham, and so that's a bright thing. But on the other side of that, they don't actually have testing available here, so we don't know because there's been no testing. They said that the people that have come in with symptoms, they take a blood test and then they send their result there. They send it to another lab, and then they will basically look over it and see if there's anybody infected. How long is that process going to take? They say 72 hours, but if they've got to ship it out, you're going to have add that shipping out time on top of the 72-hour process. So I don't know if it's another lab they send it to here locally, or if it's close by, but I would imagine it's probably going to take a little bit longer. And, it's funny, as I even told her, I said, that's kind of weird. I said, don't you think? I said, because, while they're waiting for their test results, they're probably infecting other people if they do have it. And she said, well, the protocol for that is they're actually supposed to go home and quarantine themselves. But if I know human nature, most people are going to violate that. I can't see many people just staying home and quarantining themselves. And what is quarantining yourself? Are you going to go home, and if you're married, are you going to stay away from your wife? If you have kids, are you going to stay away from your kids? I just see that as impossible, For example, if I was showing signs and currently residing in a hotel with no separate rooms, we're all in the same room with my family, there would be no way for me to quarantine. I would literally have to take our tent, go to the back of the hotel in the woods, and quarantine myself that way. I would still find that impossible to do, though, because my wife needs help with the kids if we're both going to work, and we're going to be working split shifts. So when she's at work, I got to watch the kids and vice versa. But it was really cool. I got offered a position today as an automotive tech. I've got a lot of experience as an automotive tech. I do all of our own work on our vehicle here. So excited to get started. So just going to have to, they say it takes up to 72 hours for the lab results here. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit quicker than that, but they don't do the results here. They send them out. Same thing with the urinary test. And that's all they required for me was a urinary test. And then also the company's doing a background check too, so I'll be waiting for that. But they said that they're trying to expedite things. So that'll probably take about 24 hours. I'll probably know back tomorrow about that. Everything should come back clean. Hopefully be back to work here in the next 72 hours. Yippee-ki-yay. stoked and excited, and in a market that hopefully won't be affected by everything that's going on surrounding us in the world. Yeah, doesn't seem like there's too much these days that aren't affected by pandemics and all these kind of crazy things we got going on. It's going to be hard to stay healthy for a lot of people. I'm a pretty healthy person. I've got a very good immune system, so I don't think I've got to worry about it too much. But even with that being said, I can still be a carrier. You know, that's the messed up part about this virus is even if you don't have it, you can still be a carrier. So you might come in contact with somebody that has it and not have any symptoms because you don't have it, you never contracted it, but you can, if you come in contact with somebody else and you cough on them or sneeze on them or breathe on them, then, you know, you can give it to them. It's a crazy virus. Shoot, I mean, and you know, nowadays too, people are so freaking wild. It's like, there was an incident yesterday where my wife was at Walmart and a customer had coughed, not on anybody, just coughed. And I guess there was an employee nearby that saw it, heard it, asked that person to leave. The person refused to leave, and so they called the cops on him. I was like, oh boy, this is gonna get real serious. You know, if people cough in public and now they're gonna ask to be asked to leave. Crazy times. I'm like, achoo! You know, and it's crazy because weeks ago, I was watching a video on YouTube. There's a couple people. One of them, his name, I believe, was Rice something or other, maybe Rice Gum or Rice something, was doing a video making fun of, like, you know, the coronavirus. He was going out in public, like bus benches, anywhere, just going up and asking people to use their phones, and then, you know, or whatever it was, they'd just be sitting next to him, and he'd get a phone call, and it'd be someone on the other line pretending to be a doctor, and they'd say, oh, sir, we're sorry to inform you, but you're testing positive for coronavirus. And although it was funny to me, I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there that it won't be funny to. And so the people sitting next to him, you know, they're doing this for reactions, to see what people's reactions would be like. And I would say a good 90% of the people, you know, reacted erratically. There was another guy that did a video, like, doing Uber driving, picking up people, and then start coughing violently. He was wearing a mask even, and got the same phone call, said, hey, you know, you tested positive for coronavirus. And the people, his passengers, were freaking out, you know, because he also told them, oh, hey, sorry, can you get in the front? My back door, it won't open. So he acted like his back doors wouldn't open, so they would sit next to him, too. And while it can be funny and entertaining, I mean, there is a very serious side to this, guys. You know, I think everyone should take it seriously. I don't know if we should take it as serious as that I'm seeing as in Effingham. But, yeah, it's definitely something to make sure you're keeping your distance from people, at least face-to-face. You know, you don't have to be a social mole. You don't have to stay underground. But just be aware that, you know, you don't want to be face-to-face with people any closer than, like, 6 feet. Someone was saying 3 feet today, but I think 6 feet is a safe distance. And even then, I don't know if you've ever seen how far a cough or sneeze can actually project. But it can project pretty far, past that 6 foot threshold even. So I don't know what the exact science of distance would be between people, but just keep your distance from people. If you notice they're about to sneeze or cough, back away, get away, because if they are infected, if they do have the disease, then you are potentially going to be at risk of getting that disease also, and also being a carrier. And guys, I can't express my seriousness enough about this. Even though we don't have a massive amount of deaths, there is a lot of deaths, but not anywhere near influenza yet. They actually say it's supposed to be 10 to 15 times worse than the influenza amount of deaths. So if you want to know how many deaths this potential has to kill people, go look up how many deaths were caused from influenza and times that by 10 to 15, and you're going to get your answers. You know, these are what the leading experts are talking about, that this is going to be 10 to 15 times worse than the influenza. So it is a very serious thing, you know. But the people that's going to affect the most is with the low immune systems. That's what we need to watch out for, is the low immune systems. But just if you don't want to become a carrier either, and possibly infect someone else, like a loved one, a family member, you definitely want to be making sure that, you know, you're not coughing on people, you're not sneezing on people, you're always washing your hands. Wash your hands for a minimum of 20 seconds. Use hand sanitizer. We carry around hand sanitizer at all times with us. So this is in our vehicle. My wife carries them around in her purse, little individual alcohol swabs and stuff like that. You know, so you want to have something on you at all times, because we don't notice how much times, you know, we touch our face. I'm like, if your face itches, you have a little goatee or a beard, you don't realize how many times you mess with your face in a day. But if you're touching doors, you're handshaking with people, you are running the potential of picking up bacteria and disease on your hands. And put it next to your face, and well, that becomes a problem, you know. And really, any open orifices, that's going to be a potential problem too. So be careful out there, guys, and you know, be prepared, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and yeah, just be prepared. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. I'll be happy when I don't have to make videos like this, but for right now, I feel like I have to make some videos on this subject to make sure people are educated out there, because there's a lot of people that aren't educated about this thing. You know, people in Effingham, even though all these stores are closing down, all these restaurants are closing down, I mean, everything's closing down, and people are still acting careless. I can't tell you how many people I came across today when I walked into Walmart that really looked ill. Really, really looked ill. And I hope it's, you know, nothing. But they're still walking around in public. There's going to be people that, you know, even me and my wife were talking about this, are going to be hiding symptoms because they don't want to be kicked out of establishments. They don't want to be refused services. The very few services are left available. So you're really going to have to keep an eye on people and be aware of the situation. And if you see something or somebody, it looks like potentially they're ill, you're going to want to stay clear of them. Okay? And I don't know about your hospitals nearby, or your local drugstores or Walmarts or Targets or whatever you got available to you. If they have face masks, you should probably buy them. You know, China, almost their entire population wears face masks, and it's for a reason. Think about it. Where did this thing start? You know, over in Asia, they're all wearing face masks. Every one of us should probably be wearing a face mask, but no one does, because everyone's afraid of what they look like with it. They don't want to be judged like, oh, if I wear a face mask, people are going to think I'm sick. Potentially everyone is sick. And we're looking for face masks, and I can't even find them, so somebody's bought them up, but why aren't they wearing them? You can't even get them at your local hospital. At least they're over here. So, you know, but believe me, if I had them, I would be wearing them. Yes, sir, I would be wearing them. Even though I feel like I'm going to be safe, I don't want to become a carrier. I don't want to infect someone like my children, my neighbor, you know, somebody's grandma, somebody's grandpa. That's the reality of this thing, man, is if you don't take it seriously enough, everyone's going to get it. You know, I was trying to get the take of one of the nurses, what she felt about this thing, and, you know, she's hoping for the best. But, you know, like I was telling her, I said, you know, I personally think that it's inevitable that everyone's going to get it, just because of the way people are acting. I wish it weren't that way. I wish everybody would take more precaution and at least wear a face mask. The face mask isn't just to protect you from what you're breathing. It's to protect you from coughing on people. It's a barrier. It catches everything that you would normally expel out. It will stop it in that face mask. keeps a sickness at bay. And if you're not covering that up, and it's expelling everywhere, what do you think is going to happen to everybody else that you come in contact with? It might come at the most inopportune time. You might be standing in line and all over the person in front of you. You know? And the trajectory of the thing, it might just waft around people. So keep that in mind, guys, and just take some precautions. All right? I'm not going to spend too much more time talking about this because most people don't have the attention span to watch long videos anyways. It would be really in your benefit if you watched all the videos straight all the way through, but most people don't. So I'm probably wasting my breath at this time. But thanks for the ones that do watch it all the way. It means a hell of a lot to me that you guys stick around this long to hear everything I got to say. Nothing but love for you guys, so thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you punch up that like button, and make sure you leave a comment below. If you didn't like this video, comment below. Tell me why you didn't like the video. If I misinterpreted something or gave you some misinformation, leave me a comment below and a link to the truth. You know what I mean? I'm as far as I'm concerned, everything I'm telling you is the truth. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat things for you guys. All right? So, full dose of Dave. Catch you guys later. Peace. Whoosh.